Okay, so note to self: don't have a WrestleMania or an event in New Orleans. Is that what you're saying?
How about you don't have a 7-hour event? That thing was ridiculous, man. But yeah, I mean, if you got a streak, don't show up to New Orleans, man, because it's just like when Rock said, "LeBron, don't go to Cleveland. Don't go to Cleveland."
Well, I'll say this: as much as I didn't like the fact that Asuka lost to Charlotte. I just gotta respect the match itself. The match did deliver. There were a lot of counters involved in the match. Both of them gave it their all. It's just yes, it is disappointing to see Asuka lose, but then at the same time, I gotta look at it this way: at least this significant other didn't cash in her Money in the Bank contract in the middle of the match, and won in an upset victory.
That's a good point. That would have been a lot worse.
Yeah,
I don't
that would've
think
been a lot
I don't
worse,
think the
dude.
crowd would have liked if Carmella, who's now the women's champion, would have cashed in during the match. Then there's far worse things that could have happened. But Ryan, I do have to agree with you. The way she tapped out, I'm okay with her tapping out overall.
I'm not okay with it, period.
No, but I think that proves you're the true winner of the match when a person taps out. We look at matches in history, and a lot of times the guy will tap out. I remember Shawn Michaels tapped out to John Cena at 23. Triple H tapped out to Cena at 22. We've had other tap outs. I think The Undertaker made Edge tap out at
So
one
what
of
are
the
you trying to
WrestleManias
say
back.
that Charlotte's gonna become the female John Cena, Roman Reigns?
No,
I'm
no,
already hearing that.
No. I'm saying that I think when you're trying to prove a point in the WWE and really prove a winner is a winner, you have someone tap out. Now, I think you made good points with her having an injured arm. It kind of did seem like it was kind of a weaker, whatever. I don't remember what her special move is called.
It's their figure eight.
Figure
There's
eight,
the
yeah,
figure
the figure
eight.
eight. I don't think that that necessarily they booked the end of that match well, but I'm okay with her tapping out because the streak needed to end. And I actually said this before the podcast. It was getting too predictable with Asuka every single night that she was going to win. And I've mentioned this a lot on the podcast. I don't like predictability. And one of the reasons I like this WrestleMania is because there was a lot of unpredictable stuff that happened.
Yeah, they trolled you.
Yeah.
The WrestleMania is the one time of the year when as a fan, when you think you've got it, they change everything on you. What Roddy Piper said it best: just when you think you know the answers, I changed all the questions. They do that to you. Because every time I came into a match thinking I knew absolutely, besides the Triple H, Ronda Rousey, Kurt Angle match, and even then that was some unpredictability. You had men fighting women in that.
That was fantastic.
That was fantastic, But besides that, I mean, there's a lot of points throughout the show where I was kind of like, I did not expect this to happen. I did not expect, I think even the placement of the match itself, the second match on the card. For me personally, that just mind effed me too. Like, I was just saying, this whole thing is just mind effing me. Like, I don't know how in the world you can build Asuka up after this. Where's she going? She going to SmackDown in the Superstar Shakeup? Are we going to see a rematch with Charlotte? Are they going to go on separate brands? Is Charlotte going to Raw? I mean, we haven't seen Asuka in the 2 days that she's been here. At least sell her. At least maybe let her come out and do something to kind of get her reestablished to the fans and get her out there in front of the crowd and let her know that, you know what? I lost my first matchup, but this is not going to defeat me. But I've seen no Asuka in the past 2 shows that we've had after WrestleMania. What's going on with Asuka?
Well, what is going on? Do you really think that match might have sort of scarred her in a way?
It ended it, yeah. It ended the aura of Asuka.
Okay, but what?
I think it ended the aura of Asuka. And and as much as I love Charlotte, and I love Charlotte Flair, and I love Ric Flair, but I just don't think putting Charlotte over was the right decision in that situation. You have 2 similar styles with Asuka and Ronda Rousey. Somebody mentioned it, one of my podcasters that I listen to, and he makes a great point. You have 2 similar styles. That MMA background style matches perfectly with Asuka's strong style type of offense. And I just don't know how it's going to match between Ronda Rousey and Charlotte. You're going to try to build this up over a year? Okay, then don't put Charlotte on Monday Night Raw, because guess what? When everybody goes down, you're going to end up doing this matchup earlier than you expected. So you need to do what you did last year when it came to Asuka and Charlotte. You need to keep them on separate brands and let Ronda Rousey win the Women's Royal Rumble. And another thing while I'm at it, in terms of this Women's Royal Rumble thing, you let the first ever Women's Royal Rumble winner lose at WrestleMania? How does that add legitimacy and credibility to your Women's Royal Rumble?
Well, the Women's Royal Rumble, the match is not, when you win the Royal Rumble, it's not you're going to win at WrestleMania.
Yeah,
it's you get a shot at WrestleMania.
But the odds are in the men's Royal Rumble, and we saw it this year, 2 Royal Rumble winners lost.
Yeah.
Who happened to be Japanese, ironically. But we saw it this year. That there's a trend. You know, if you win the Royal Rumble, it's set up for you to go to WrestleMania and win. The story is you should be winning 70-something% of the time in the men's thing. You win the Royal Rumble.
I have a good point here. A lot of people complain when Randy Orton won last year, though.
Yeah, that was a different.
No, it's not different. No, people just aren't happy with
storyline.
anything.
No,
wrestling fans.
No, that was storyline.
And this is a big thing. This is a big thing with me over the weekend because I think, Ryan, you went into WrestleMania with expectations, major expectations. It seems like you're disappointed.
I'm not disappointed with WrestleMania. I'm disappointed with some of the booking.
Okay, that's fair.
It
just seemed like you were disappointed with the whole WrestleMania. And I was like, man, there was a lot of good stuff.
I'm disappointed with sitting 7 hours. I couldn't do it. I tapped out before the main event. I didn't watch that.
You complained about that on the podcast.
I didn't watch that shit. I couldn't do it anymore. The KFC wore off. The KFC and the pizza. The KFC, the pizza, all the chicken and the mashed potatoes, that wore off, man. I haven't got a Roland McFlurry, man. I couldn't do it anymore. I was like, I'm tapping out, man. Nicholas did it for me. But, like, at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, like, I don't know where the WWE is going to, what the WWE does. Sometimes I know WrestleMania is supposed to be the ending point of the booking year, but you also need to have a starting point for the new booking year. And I wonder what Asuka's starting point is.
Well, here, I have a theory. I think they might, let's say, they might give her like a month off or something like it. She'll come back after Backlash. Because I think the thing with Asuka was, and even with me, she kind of seemed like one of those superstars that kind of need to keep special a little bit. Like, you didn't need to wrestle her every night, and it seemed like she was wrestling every night, like, the past couple weeks. So I think they'll give her some time off. They'll give her some time off until after Backlash. And then she'll come back, and hell, we might see her fight Rousey next. You know? Because technically she's still on the Raw brand. She never really was on the SmackDown brand. She just wanted to fight the SmackDown champion.
We're probably going to have to figure out how that's going to happen, since that superstar shakeup is next week.
Yeah.
So who knows? I'm pretty sure they're going to keep Ronda on Raw.
There's no way. Yeah, they keep her on SmackDown.
I just don't see that.
Raw.
I just don't see her going to SmackDown. Asuka and Charlotte, there might be chances where they're going to be switching brands.
Well, no, Asuka's on. So you're saying because Asuka's on Raw. So this Ronda Rousey thing could happen, and this is just a theory. I'm not. I haven't heard anything about this. Right. I'm just saying. That's a way maybe to get Asuka over again is have her face Rousey, and hell, right. Maybe she beats Rousey.
Well,
right.
Well, also the thing is that we're kind of ignoring is that aren't they supposed to be competing for the women's championship on both their respective brands? I mean, that's one of the things why they were going after each other was because of the title. So Nia Jax has the women's title, thanks now beating Alexa Bliss. Mm-hmm. And also now we got more women involved in the women's division. Ember Moon, her coming in on Raw, and I think Peyton Royce and I forgot
Billy Kay.
Yeah, Billy Kay. So,
dang, that's not good that you just forgot Billy Kay.
The iconic. Hey, you know what though? Yeah. I'll admit it though. I forgot about them. I did not I did not expect them to be people that showed up for some reason. Dude, I hadn't seen them on NXT. I like what we mentioned last week. We don't really watch NXT besides the pay-per-views. So if the Iconics
NXT fantastic
if the Iconics aren't on actual like the pay-per-views, I forgot about them. But when they showed up, in more ways than not, I was happy to see them. Yeah, I'll tell you that.
Let me tell you something too. And also, like, I want to talk a little bit some more about this Asuka thing, because what do you think her route is? You say Ronda Rousey, okay? No. You've got to save that at least for a SummerSlam matchup, okay? So what's Asuka's next
Why
move?
do you have to wait for SummerSlam to do that?
because like I said,
I mean, we
this
saw
earlier in the
AJ Styles and
I-
Daniel Bryan on SmackDown.
I
This
said
week.
this earlier on the podcast. I say if you want to have it, if you want to have Ronda Rousey main event WrestleMania, you need to have a road set up for her. Her first task, her first true test, is against Asuka, against her true competitor, and then her final true test is against Charlotte at WrestleMania.
True.
35.
Okay, so this goes to my point though. So you give Asuka like a month or whatever off, and you have Asuka beat Ronda Rousey, and Ronda Rousey's humbled in some way. And at SummerSlam,
No.
you have a rematch or something like that, and you have Rousey beat Asuka. That's one of her steps to get to Charlotte. Makes sense, right? Rousey's gonna have to win.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, what are we doing with Asuka, man? Are we just booking her, or is she going into mid-card hell?
Well, what do you
And
want?
it's worse to be in the mid-card hell in the women's division.
Well, I think anybody that's not in the title picture is in mid
Mid-card
card for
hell.
women. Anyway, as much as we want to talk about a women's revolution or whatever.
Evolution, revolution,
Yeah,
the
I mean,
Me Too movement,
when-
being involved, whatever you want to call
Wait,
it.
what was that last thing you said?
The Me Too movement.
Oh no, you
being
said
involved.
something. You said something after that, but it
Whatever
doesn't
you
matter.
want to call it.
No, I think. Well, let me just ask you this: what do you want from Asuka? Do you want her to be a champion?
I want her to be a champion.
Well, then why don't you just be? Why don't you just go after Nia Jax? Hey, I'll go after the Raw champion since I couldn't beat the SmackDown
I
champion.
mean, yeah,
And John Cena does it.
It makes sense, but we didn't have no. She didn't come out on the. She didn't come out afterwards.
No,
if I
but-
was booking the show,
but-
I would have had her come out and challenge Nia Jax next week on Raw. Be like, this might be my final night on Raw. I might as well go after the championship.
Fair enough.
I mean, I don't get sometimes the decisions after WrestleMania. We work hard to get to WrestleMania, and then we wait until the last minute to make the decision
Well, there's
to
only been-
WrestleMania, just like with Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. So at the end of the day, what are you going to do? You build up this woman all throughout NXT and all throughout the WWE. This is part of the reason why I get frustrated when people get called up from NXT, because they get built up so well and they get spoiled with such fantastic booking that once they get to the main roster, once you flounder them, once you have one little step of adversity, they don't know how to handle it. The crowd doesn't know how to deal with that type of situation. And I don't know how the crowd's going to accept Asuka when she shows up after her losing, unless you book her in a situation where they are going to cheer her. So you either have her confront somebody like Ember Moon or Nia Jax or Alexa Bliss. No, we've seen that before. Or you have her go to SmackDown. I think you have Asuka go to SmackDown. Okay, you have to keep her separate from Ronda Rousey, and then you have them challenge each other at SummerSlam, because of the major pay-per-views. Nobody gives a crap about which brand you on. You just challenge whoever you want.
That's not. But you really think that's going to happen? That we're just going to start like, oh, you're on SmackDown, but here I'm just going to challenge
It
someone
happened a
from
few
Raw.
years ago in 2016 with Randy Orton versus Brock Lesnar.
That's true, but Lesnar kind of was like one of those free agent guys. Like he wasn't
Lesnar
really
was
on
on
a
Raw.
brand.
Lesnar was on Raw.
I don't think Lesnar's on
Randy-
Raw. I think he's
Randy
just.
Orton was on. Lesnar is officially contracted to Monday Night Raw. He was drafted by Monday Night Raw. Randy Orton was drafted by Tuesday Night SmackDown, and they were set up for a match against each other at that year's SummerSlam, and that was brand versus brand. And Randy Orton invaded Raw 2 weeks after the damn brand split. So what I'm trying to say is this: you can have SmackDown versus Raw at major damn pay-per-views. What I'm trying to say is they're not booking Asuka in a way that makes the WWE
Ryan, there's
fans.
only been one show. You're acting like we've been a month now in Oscars. There's been one
Two
show she
shows.
wasn't on.
There's
No,
been
she's
two
not on
shows.
SmackDown. Why would she
Doesn't
show
matter.
up on SmackDown?
She was showing up on SmackDown.
Because she was facing Charlotte.
Doesn't
You're
matter.
making it. You're acting like she's a SmackDown Live superstar. She's not a SmackDown Live
She was
superstar.
technically both for a month.
John Cena is the only guy really that can go both brands. And we didn't see John Cena.
He's kind of a free agent.
Why aren't you complaining about John Cena?
You know why? Because John Cena got that ass whooped.
Yeah,
He's
John Cena
embarrassed.
did that.
Okay.
By the way,
You mean that squash match?
that squash match at WrestleMania.
That's what it was. It was a squash match.
You know what though? Well, you know what's funny though? That kind of
Undertaker
to happen.
put his nuts in John Cena's face. I
Yeah.
mean, like, come on, man. There's no more
I'll
greater
tell
embarrassment.
you this.
Unless you get dunked on by LeBron. I mean,
We talked a lot
like-
about, just switching gears real quick. We talk a lot about the Undertaker's health. Man, when he ran the ropes in that match, and it was 2 minutes, so there wasn't a lot to watch. I was very impressed with the guy that's 75 years old.
53.
I know.
53.
But a guy that's that old and that has had all these injuries lately could run the ropes that quickly and deliver some of the moves he delivered to Cena. I was impressed. Now it was a short match, and I think any match that he has, now coming up. I think he's actually going to face Rusev in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah,
Did you guys hear that?
It's been confirmed.
That's going to
Royal
be
Rumble.
another squash match.
Now the thing is that
Rusev's not
it
over
was-
in Saudi Arabia.
It was it was too short. I did feel that match was way too short, and this was actually the first time that I saw Cena like shiver, frozen when he saw.
I
the
thought
dead
that
man.
was a fantastic touch to that little that whole program. Here's the thing.
And did you? And were you at least a little disappointed you didn't see American Badass Taker?
A little bit.
When I heard when the lights went out first and Elias's music thing came out, I was like, oh shit. Oh shoot! It's gonna be Kid Rock. It's gonna be Kid Rock in his mug, and then all of a sudden, hello, I'm Elias, and I'm just like, oh.